Hi guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I am going to be showcasing Marlon Vera, also known as Chito, and it will be during some Division 20 online ranked gameplay. And at the time of recording this, he's just beat Dominic Cruz by a vicious head kick knockout. I mean, that was so well timed. You could see the nose break on impact, and Chito looks good. He looks very, very, very good. I mean, this man is hard to beat. He can't be finished, it seems like, even though he seems to be a bit of a slow starter. But that plays into it well, considering it's a 5-round fight. He's got time to work with. I think he was behind on the scorecards, definitely. I scored it. I had it 2-1 in terms of Dominic Cruz winning that fight going into the fourth round. I had Dom winning on the scorecards, but you can see that Chito's being very patient, downloading the necessary information, and yeah, ended up cracking him with that big shot. And you could see early on in the fight that Dominic Cruz was definitely moving his head a lot to that side and putting, like, leaning with a lot of weight, just to avoid the 1-2s, and then Chito timed it perfect. And what can you say about Chito? I mean, this guy looks like an absolute star, absolute world beater. Probably gonna fight the winner of Yan versus Sugar Sean, who I'm fighting here on screen. And it will be very interesting to see what happens next in his career. He's looking very, very good. I believe he's not even, I don't even think he's 30 yet, so I believe he's on the younger side, and he's just constantly improving. But yeah, real fan favourite, real joy to watch, and it's about time he's been added into the game, and he is absolutely phenomenal. Definitely one of my favourite fighters to use now at Bantamweight. It was very hard not to get a mirror match because obviously everyone was excited to be using Chito. Uh, Phenomenal when it comes to being on the feet. As you see, I get absolutely chinned there, but phenomenal when it comes to being on the feet. Feels very, very good. Clean boxing, very good kickboxing, very good front kicks and teep kicks. Obviously, you got his got the hook kicks in there as well, which is a very good tool to utilize when your opponent is swaying away. I like to throw these leg kicks here against O'Malley for the obvious reason, but in terms of ground game as well, very, very good ground game. He's got stuff that I'm very, very impressed with. His jiu-jitsu is very good caliber, and he's got the Kimura from side control. He's decent off of his back. He's good on top. So overall, he's definitely one of the standout guys at bantamweight to be using if you want to really compete against the best of the best. And in the first fight here, of course, I'm facing a striker in Sugar Sean, and in the second fight I'll be using Aljamain Sterling, and in between that I'm going to show you a little knockout clip of a mirror match. But yeah, I fought against strikers, I fought against grapplers, and he feels unreal. With the grapplers, I'm not even worried about going to the ground because his ground game is at a very, very good level, and I can end up reversing the position, and as long as I'm inside control and they don't have stamina, I can look to lock in that submission. So for me, he fits my playstyle very, very well, in the sense that I am not the best striker, so I need someone that, preferably if the fight does go to the ground, has some sort of submission threat in order to counter the wrestling heavy style of my opponent. Obviously, at heart, I am a grappler, so when it comes to the striking components, it's still something that I'm really trying to work on. But because Cheeto's got such a good ground game, it does allow for me to rely on that if need be. So, for instance, if I'm getting pieced up against another striker, I can look to resort to the wrestling, or if I'm fighting a very grapple-heavy opponent, I can rely on being good off my back, reversing the position and standing up, or looking to attack a submission from there. But you can see that in the gameplay here now that the first round, definitely it was close, bar the two knockdowns that Sugar Sean got, and they were just well timed. I think the first one was the heel kick, which was, yeah, just great work from Sugar Sean, and then the next one was the spinning elbows, which is something that I've got to be very cautious of. And you'll see from round two that I'll adopt a more cautious approach. I know that Sugar Sean's stamina is not in the greatest position just because of the sheer volume of strikes that Sugar Sean is throwing. Laser in my legs here, but again, I'm just going to be very, very patient. Although my left leg is carrying a bit of damage and Sugar Sean is mixing up the strikes throwing, it's all about staying calm. And I was really trying to mimic that Chito calmness, in where he doesn't mind getting hit. He can definitely take a punch. I mean, his chin health is absolutely amazing. Body health's amazing. Leg health's amazing. So it's definitely something I was trying to replicate here. Just remain calm. Look for the openings. Don't rush a finish. Even when Sugar Sean's hurt, don't go all guns blazing, because that's when you can get hit with a spinning elbow or fancy kick that ends up knocking you down and changing the fight completely. Because if you look right now, my head health definitely isn't in the worst position. Still got the ability to take a strike as a flying knee lands there. Good uppercut to the body by Sugar Sean, and I'm really just taxing that body. You can see that a lot of my combinations and ending to the body, because I know that right now stamina is going to play a very big role in this fight, especially against a very kick heavy Sugar Sean, because those kicks really do tax your stamina. So as long as I keep ripping the body, it's going to tax that stamina even more. And you can see here that Sugar Sean's also doing a good job of working my body to really nullify that effect that I'm having on his body and the level of stamina that he has right now. And you can see absolutely rips the body there, go to the leg, go to the head, and yeah, you can see there's definitely been a difference from the knockdowns. That sidestep there really showed the stamina level of where Sean O'Malley's at right now. Again, rip to the body, I got the stun to the leg, and then I ripped to the stun to the body and then rip to the leg. Can't remember the order of that right now, but just a very patient display. And one thing that I like about Chito as well, he does have the oblique kicks, so if you do have too much leg damage and you're cautious of throwing those leg kicks, you can switch to the oblique kicks, because obviously when they get countered, it's not going to do any damage to your legs. So that's something that you can definitely adopt and use in your playstyle. Avoid the heel kick there and get the stun off. So very good round 2, although I did get stunned from the spinning elbow. But again, the spinning elbow is very powerful, so when that does land, it does tend to stun, especially when you have no stamina. So that's just well done from my opponent. It was good timing there. And yeah, right now you can see that I'm slowly picking apart Sean O'Malley here. I'm not going to overcommit, because Sean O'Malley does have the ability to shut my lights out, and you've got to be patient, especially when you're fighting sealed opposition. Anyone in the higher divisions, they can always pull something out of the bag, whether it's a flying knee, a spinning elbow, a well-timed elbow, or a hook, or just a cross that hits you straight on the money when you have no stamina. So you've definitely got to respect your opposition, and that's exactly what I'm doing here. You can see the game plan hasn't deteriorated. I've literally got another 3 rounds to work with, so that's another 3 rounds to get O'Malley out of here. So I'm going to be very patient, read what O'Malley's doing, because obviously O'Malley's still a threat. That leg is absolutely battered right now, and that's come from checking all the kicks and also lasering with leg kicks with Chito. Chito's got very good leg kicks. It's something that I did enjoy using. Obviously, we all know what happened in the O'Malley fight. That leg kick hit him, and it really changed the course of the fight. So of course, that's something I'm going to look to utilize. Definitely going to utilize the teep kicks and the front kicks. Obviously, that vicious knockout of Frankie Edgar, where he turned him into an NFT briefly, and that's just so well timed. You can see even in the Dominic Cruz fight, he hit a couple of those. It's just really good timing on it. That was a terrible timing to throw the roundhouse to the body there, as Sugar Sean was throwing that spinning elbow. If he had a bit more stamina, that would have done a lot more damage. And you can see that he's really looking for that right now, being patient. I go for the lead leg kick, and that's something I was trying to mix up. I was going for the lead leg kick and then going for the regular calf kick. And that's something that I definitely recommend doing, is mixing up when and how you throw your leg kicks. Try not to be too predictable, because once they start getting checked, it's so your leg health literally melts. It's going to start deteriorating, especially against certain fighters. For instance, if they have, I think it's called steel checks, which someone like Jose Aldo has, it does a tremendous amount of damage. And right now, the fight is really in my favour. You can see blocks quite low as well. I'm just throwing in random combinations here and there to keep him on edge, but beautiful knockout there. And as you can see on screen, there's a mirror match. I get dropped. The other Chito has absolutely melted me throughout this fight, and then you'll see what happens. So Mr. Roundhouse goes for the front kick. Beautiful knockout. So I thought I'd include that there, because that guy, whoever I fought there, I don't know if you can see his game attack, but what a fighter. He was absolutely dominating me. That was my first time using Chito. He was definitely up all the rounds, done a lot of damage. You can see by my head health and body health that I wasn't in a good position. He tried to jump and get that knockdown, got up, avoided that front kick, and then got the knockout. And that's the big danger of throwing those front kicks consistently, is that you can sidestep those, and you can also just, you know, move with the right analog stick to the left or right, just sway your body. And as soon as you get out of the way of that, it's a big problem because that chin's up in the air and you have no stamina. One little punch can really cause that knockout blow, and that's exactly what happened in that fight there. So thought I'd showcase that, just, you know, to add to another highlight. I have a lot of Chito fights, but I thought that I didn't want to make the video too long. The video is already, I think, 19 minutes long, and I didn't want to add much more than that. I just wanted to show a gameplay against the striker and a gameplay against the grappler, and that's what you're going to be seeing now against Aljamain Sterling. This guy that I fought here was actually a very decent fighter. Messaged me after the fight to say GG's, and it's always good that when you have a good fight and you get a good message from your opponent rather than the typical hate messages that I'm used to getting. So you can see the first takedown attempt is in round 1. He tried to turn it to the right, and it was a good deny, good takedown defense there, and keeping the fight on the feet. I'm just going to look to laser away with those leg kicks. Every time Sterling steps in, I'm going to look to do a bit of damage with the hands as well. And right now it's the first round, and that's the round I normally tend to take the easiest. I'm just looking to see how my opponent's going to set up. Is it going to be a very grapple heavy approach? Is he going to mix in the striking to get the takedowns? Is it going to be knees and spinning elbows, roundhouses to the body? And you've just got to really sit back and analyze all these things and look at what you can capitalize on. And early on I can see that he's definitely slipping a lot, looking to catch me with the hook, slip hook, roundhouses to the body, spinning elbow. He's got that cheesy little helicopter kick that is there if need be. Hasn't spammed it, but used it once already, which is something that I have to take note of, because that kick, if thrown in boxing range, can still knock you out, which is extremely dangerous. And then you've got the spinning elbow. Shoots for another takedown here, which is another good deny because it was turned in the same direction. So it's fairly easy to deny the second one, and because there was no strikes mixed into it, made it a bit more predictable. And that's the helicopter kick I was just on about, but was just thrown there again. So definitely going to have to keep my block high and look to be very cautious of that. I'm going to throw knees when I'm inside. He goes for the spinning back kick, misses, and then big knockdown here, jump on top to get the finish. And to be honest, I just jumped on top to do more damage and just to show that I'm not worried about the fight going to the ground. Posture up here and then advance into half guard rather than just rain down blows. And this is more of a psychological thing to show that just Aljamain Sterling that I don't mind going onto the ground. If the fight does end up going to the ground, I am very, very confident. So yeah, like I said, that was more of a psychological thing, hoping that it would make my opponent second guess taking the fight to the ground, showing that, oh look, he's comfortable on the ground, so when the fight does get there, it's not going to be as easy as you may think. And beautiful combination there. That was like a good little 5-piece combo ending with the knee. And yeah, that combo definitely does a lot of damage, and you'll see that I really try to utilize all assets of Chito's game. I think I start to sneak in the elbow a bit more as the fight progresses, because Chito has vicious elbows. We definitely saw that on the ground in the Rob Font fight, and that's something that I definitely wanted to utilize in the game. However, of course, we don't have the facilities for that on the ground. For some reason, we can't throw elbows. And you can see that the fight is definitely playing out in my favor as we progress here. Good little hook kick. Staying patient still, not overly committing. The output's getting a bit higher, and I feel like that's just because I'm fighting against an Aljamain Sterling who, of course, grappling is not who, of course, striking isn't his forte, it's grappling. So I definitely feel more comfortable on the feet in the willingness to strike and throw a higher output, because I'm less worried about what I'm receiving back. I mean, Sterling is definitely well versed, got good striking and a good arsenal of kicks. However, when it comes to being compared to Chito, definitely not got the ability that Chito has when it comes to the strike. You can see there, pull counter elbow, done a lot of good damage there. To be honest, I thought that might have even been a knockdown, but Aljamain Sterling's head health was a bit higher than anticipated, and the stamina was in a good position as well. So it's something that I'm going to look to work on now, is really take out not only the lead leg but the body health of Aljamain Sterling. You can see the double hooks to the body there, which is a very dangerous combination to throw, because one uppercut could really change the fight there. However, if timed correctly, can of course do a huge amount of damage, same as the uppercuts to the body, which is something I'm definitely trying to incorporate more of into my stand-up game. And it's the distance management here that you can see is really good. I'm backing in and out of ranges, and I'm keeping the fight at different ranges at all times. Like when it's in boxing range, I'll throw a three-piece boxing combination, end it off with a knee, back away as Aljamain goes to counter. And then when I'm away, I'll throw those teep kicks and front kicks, the hook kick from a slightly closer range, and just keep Aljamain guessing, really. Waiting for the takedown attempt, to be honest with you. I'm seeing the one that's going to come. I love that combination there. You go lead leg kick, and then 1, 2, and then end off with the other leg kick, and it just always catches people off guard, and it does a very, very good amount of damage in a very small amount of time. So that's something that I really do go to as a combination. You can see trying to be careful here, and I was going to the roundhouse, and it was a very good takedown attempt. I held the knife, but it was just it was just a good takedown attempt. Finally on my back, and Aljamain Sterling on top. Block these two hooks here. I can see the stamina is very, very low, so I'm not too worried, like I said, if the fight does get to the ground, because I feel very comfortable with Chito on the ground. So yeah, it was good for my opponent to finally get me onto the ground, although there wasn't much time left on the clock. It was probably more of a mental thing. I went for the jumping front kick to the body and cancelled it, and he got me onto the ground straight away. Deny him posturing up, reverse the position, and now wind up on top. And here I'm going to look to deny some transitions, going to look to throw some strikes, and then where possible I'll look to posture up. So here what I was doing is I was looking to pre-deny the full guard sweep that Aljamain Sterling has, because in my mind, if it got to the full guard, he can then get to the rubber guard. So instead of denying the sprawl, that's what I was denying. And then in my head I thought, okay, if he goes to sprawl, I'll just look to get up rather than get pushed to the fence and then get taken down. At least this way we're back onto the feet, and I'm at a more advantageous position again. So that was the thought process behind that. Back onto the feet now, and you can see hooks to the body, knees to the body. There's that kick that I initially for some reason cancelled, and as a result of that got taken down. So that was the kick that I was meant to throw. That does a lot of damage, something that I like to utilise a lot with Charles Oliveira as well. And right now I'd say I'm very, very comfortable in this fight. Health wise looking very good. Another little leg health event there, get another drop. That was a well timed hook, and you can see straight back to the leg instantly. As soon as he got out, straight back to the leg, hook kick there, lead roundhouse to the body, and as he goes to throw that spin elbow, another strike lands, another stun. And Aljamain Sterling right now is in a terrible, terrible position. Good hook kick again, good slip, knee to the body, and everywhere is hurting for Aljamain Sterling right now. So it's only a matter of time. See, land the roundhouse, get the hook again. I jump on top here to get the finish. It winds up going into this position, which really annoys me because it's so much easier for your opponent to get out of that position. So I opted to get up. You can see I'm faking going to the body because I want to see if I can get a big reaction, potentially a big uppercut from Aljamain Sterling, pull and then counter. But Aljamain was doing a good job of not really falling for that fake. I'm not sure whether that was intentional or not, but it was good. And you can see that pull counter hit me flush, but Sterling doesn't have the stamina right now. The power was definitely mitigated because of the work to the lead leg, and my head health is in a very good position. So fortunately that didn't do much damage. Had it been more of a war beforehand, my head health's a bit more deteriorated, that definitely could have resulted in a stun and put me under some pressure. But you can see good leg kick lands, front kick knocks down Sterling. Right now you can still see that I'm being very, very, very patient because you never know what could happen, and then get the knockout there. So that was the Chito video. I hope you guys did enjoy. Once again, just want to say a huge thank you for all the support as of lately. Yeah, whether it's watching the streams, liking, subscribing, it does mean a huge amount. So thank you to everyone that's watched the content. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, and if you are new, don't forget to subscribe for more UFC 4 content, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.